In order to make this tool haul a little more interesting, I'm going to show where each of these products falls into my current collection. These items were purchased off of Amazon UK and Amazon DE in Germany. In a previous video, I discovered this German-made hammer on Amazon UK. This hammer was my first impressions of this S&R brand, which is a German brand. So I wanted to continue exploring this brand. So I got this S&R locksmith's hammer. It's a 500 gram cross peen locksmith's hammer. So this S&R locksmith's hammer is made in Germany. The handle size is similar but larger than the rubber mallet. But I also noticed a little bit of differences in the quality. For example, this seam, there's not anything wrong with it. It's just that it's not as nicely finished as this one. This is clear shrink tube. I put this on this hammer. So I have not used this hammer yet, but I am very pleased again with the style and the quality of the handle. So on this one, the S&R logo is recessed into the plastic handle, but only on one side. And that is also the same on the rubber mallet. So these two hammers are my current complete collection of locksmith's cross peen hammers. I've already reviewed this Vakuum hammer in another video. I'll put links to that video in the description of this video. And then we come to my very first German framing hammer, or German lath hammer. S&R is calling this a batten hammer, and it is made in Germany. So it's got a pretty aggressive waffled face, 600 grams. It's got a magnet on it. We're going to test that out. S&R does have another version of this hammer. Looks a little more like an Estwing. And the country of origin on that one is China. For the lath hammer or the batten hammer, the S&R logo is painted on. It's not recessed into the molding like it is with the locksmith hammer. This design is completely new to me. This is my very first German framing hammer or German lath hammer. The closest thing I've got, for me growing up, Estwing was the best top of the line framing and general purpose hammer that we had. When I discovered the Wiha electrician's hammer, I fell in love with this handle and found out this is a rebranded Hultafors. And so then I went in search of some of the Hultafors hammers. These are probably two of my favorite hammers in my collection right now. Yeah, okay. Looks like even a roofing nail fits in there pretty good. Okay, what about a great big pole barn spike? Nope, that's too heavy. Stuff like this, no problem. Let's go with a spike like this. Seems pretty weak. If I have to swing it down, it falls off. So this is the made in the USA titanium Boss hammer. Much stronger magnet. Holds that one just fine. This one holds it much better. So that magnet is really weak. That's not very exciting. So there's not any way to push that magnet out. I'd have to drill that out and put a better magnet in there if I wanted to fix that. Other than that, the hammer works fine. I'll tell you what though, I definitely like the handle on the S&R way better than the handle on the Boss hammer. So if you've ever had to do that kind of thing to try to lift something off, and this is why they call it a lath hammer, because of the claw on it. So then we've got this S&R side cutter. This Meister series falls at the bottom end of their offerings. So S&R has got the Meister, the Ergo, and the insulated. And this one is made in Germany. Wow, that's confusing. It says 165 here in the part number, but it says 160 here on the description. I think they make 2 more sizes in this series. So this one has a nice free rotation on it. There's just a tiny, tiny amount of play in the mechanism. Probably similar to this old channel lock. I think we can see that channel lock. This one is made in the USA. So my inclination is to group these together. In terms of the cutter, I suppose it's similar to these, but these all have far superior handles and ergonomics. German-made, NWS, rebranded for Milwaukee, Rothenberger, and then this is the original OEM, NWS, out of Germany. This Facom made in France. So then, of course, there's the Japanese stuff. So these are mostly flush cuts. So this is my current collection, not including the small micro stuff. All right, then let's look at this Japanese saw that is made in Germany by Augusta. Here's a look at the handle style. Has a good heavy bolt on the blade. And these, of course, are flexible. These blackened tips would indicate that these have been induction hardened tips. So looking at this Augusta, it looks very similar to this Irwin Marples. These teeth do not have the 3-facet style. And what I'm referring to is the 3 sides on each tooth. That is what I associate with Japanese saws. All right, let's take a look at these in action. We'll try the fine cut first. This is a piece of maple. Okay, then I've got this razor saw made in Japan. Then I've got this Z saw. This is really fine. Here's an Irwin Marples. It's a little more coarse than the other ones. So those all work well. Here's the Irwin Marples. So now let's try the coarse side. Okay, I'll just put an old piece of lumber in there. We'll try the Irwin Marples, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be exactly the same as the Augusta. Yeah, I would say those 2 saws are twins. All right, so I got to show off the Silky Genki Temagari 500. All right, one more time. Almost. Tried to get it in 3. So that was what, 5 strokes to get through a 2x4? So right now, for Japanese saws, this is my collection. I expect this collection to grow. So that was a look at the Augusta Japanese style saw, along with my current collection of these Japanese style saws. So I was just looking around on Amazon Japan, and it seems that 210, 240, and 270 are the three typical lengths that these come in. And all of the ones that I just looked at on Amazon Japan had these set style coarse teeth on the coarse side. So the set teeth are bent alternatively left and right, left and right. This side doesn't do that. These teeth are like these Japanese teeth on these style of saws. Don't set the teeth side to side. I'll just quick show the differences in the cuts. The one on the left, of course, was the really coarse Genki Temagari 500. This edge does a cut like this. So the fine edge on this saw makes a cut that looks like this. All right, so then let's take a look at the Stanley Power Lock top view inside tape measure. I got this one on Amazon DE. This Stanley top view is made in France. So this inside tape measure now adds to my collection of inside tape measures. Here's the BMI Vizio. Here's the Garant rebranded BMI. Here's the Stabila. This is an Intervision. Got this one on Amazon Japan. Here's the Tajima. So a Stanley and the hot set. So this is my current collection of inside tape measures, and I am forming some preferences. Here's what I've noticed. And the Stanley top view, it's very familiar with the typical Stanley Power Lock. These Stanley Power Locks are pretty much what I grew up on. And this one works much the same way, except that it's only in metric and it has the inside measure capability. And this is 230 millimeters long, and it measures it the same on the inside as it does fully extending it there, 23 or 230 millimeters. So I'm used to having a tape measure that has a hook that hangs down so you can just swipe and measure. While on the other hand, this Intervision, the hook doesn't hang down. You have to use two hands to pull the tape out and make the measurement. The hot set has a hook that hangs down, but it's small, and it auto locks, so there's a bit of friction there. So that hook tends to slip off the end on the hot set. Here's a Stanley Panoramic. That hook is almost flush. The Tajima has a hook that hangs down. It has an appropriate amount of friction. The Tajima works quite nice. This BMI Viso I was using on a recent project, and I started to notice the hook issue with these. The hook doesn't hang down very much, and I'm constantly having to use two hands to extend and use the tape. So here's the Garant. That does not want to swipe. You've got to hold that hook down. The Stabila has a hook that hangs down, but for whatever reason, it slips off. Stanley bends the hook in a little bit so that it's not a perfect right angle, and the Stabila bends the hook at a perfect right angle. You can see the difference between the Stanley and the Stabila. And so that issue continues into the normal tape measures that are not inside tape measures. This is a FESTOOL tape measure. This one has a flush hook, a very flush hook. You cannot swipe and measure with this one at all. So it has a lock release on the bottom, a lock release on the top, and the lock is automatically on. And you have to press to release the lock. So you definitely have to use two hands. So this FESTOOL is metric only. So here's a hot set, same situation. They've got a recessed hook. You cannot swipe and measure. You have to use two hands. This one has inches and metric, and it does not auto lock. you have to lock it. So here's a Garant branded BMI. These have very gentle springs and very smooth operation. So they do allow swiping and measuring even though the hook doesn't hang down very far. And this one has inches and metric. So here's two more examples of BMI. BMI is the OEM. So these are very gentle, very smooth operating. This one is metric only. No markings on the bottom. The Stahlwille branded, made in Germany by BMI. Same excellent mechanism, smooth operating. You can swipe and measure, and it has inches and metric. And then I guess in this collection, I've also got this Japanese Niigataseki. This one doesn't even have a clip. It's for measuring round things. So even though I do have many more tape measures, I think that essentially shows the interesting stuff that's in my collection. So then I also found this inexpensive, I think it was on sale, this FESTOOL ice scraper. This FESTOOL ice scraper is made in Germany. I have a lot of ice scrapers, but as far as German tool branded ice scrapers go, this is my current collection, FESTOOL and Ghidorah. And the Ghidorah is also made in Germany. All right, so then out at KCTOOL, I got a Stahlwille, made in Germany, fuel hose clamp, because I have to do some repairs on a leaky fuel hose on a snowblower. I can clamp this off up closer to the gas tank, and this is my very first fuel hose clamp. I have nothing else in that collection category. Okay, and then we come to this Metabo box. So these boxes, we don't typically find these in the United States, at least I don't think we do. So this one is called Metabo Meta Box, extra small organizer. These are made in the Czech Republic. I bought this one on Amazon Germany. And this box does add to my collection of one other box. This is what's known as Strauss box. These are some Engelbert Strauss branded tool kits. This was one that I got and reviewed a while ago. These are not available on Amazon Germany. I had to use a third-party shipping service. They are compatible, they do lock together because their OEM is the same, and I don't know what the OEM is. Because whenever the OEM rebrands these, the brand changes the name, and I'm just not familiar with all the products in this market. If somebody knows who the OEM of this box style is and what they call that box style, so I can Google it, much appreciated. I would like to learn more about this. I don't know that I'll add many more to my collection, but I do find these interesting. One thing I don't like about the Metabo box is all the dividers in it are one piece. So it's an all or none divider in this particular Metabo box. But these are definitely higher quality than the L box minis. So I hope I kept this tool haul interesting by showing you how these items fit into my growing collection. And I'm certainly not done growing my tool collection. There will be affiliate links and informational links in the description of this video. Any use of my affiliate links is greatly appreciated. You know how to feed the YouTube algorithm. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching.